Are you ready for a fall DIY? Stick around. We are going to make a pumpkin out of paper towel rolls. We're going to replicate this to some degree. Okay, so here we are, and I have one more to cut out, the circle. And what I did is I took the paper towel roll, put it down, and with the pencil just went around so I would get the proper size instead of guessing. So I'm going to cut it. And I've been thinking as I've been cutting these what I want to do. Do I want to just paint them and antique it, or do I want to put something on these to give it dimension? So that's where my thinking is right now. Okay, when I glue these, do you see the top? So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to replicate this. I mean, just imagine, see, my mind always thinks, okay, just, you know, pretend like these were paper towel rolls, okay? And what they did is they cut the paper towel roll and then they put this on top and then, you know, did what they did. Not saying these were, but just so I can get my mind wrapped making these to look like this, if that makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these, and then I might, and I'm not sure yet, but before I do, I'll come back and show you. I'm thinking maybe to put maybe a modeling paste, but I don't know if I want to go through all that, you know what I mean? I mean, I can get paper towel rolls fast enough to where I could just do this as far as just painting it. Oh, I don't know, but I'll be back as soon as I figure it out. Okay, I decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and glue these together, and I'm keeping this close so I can use this as my model. I'm going to glue these together and then glue the tops on, and I'm going to just go ahead and paint it. If I like the way it looks just painted and antiqued a little bit, so be it. If I don't, then I will go back and either use spackle or a modeling paste and dimensionalize it somewhat. So it's easy to cover up the paint. So I'm just going to do it this first way that I just said, and we'll see how it goes. So as you can see, imagine this just being this, only taller without the color, just like they're paper towel rolls. Okay, so I'm looking to see how they're glued, and they are glued just one in front of the other, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take the hot glue, and if you want to make a lot of these, tell your friends or family, don't throw away your paper towel rolls. They'll look at you like you're nuts. My family won't look at me like I'm nuts. They'll just say, oh, there she goes again. Okay. So now let's glue these two together. Okay. And then we're going to glue this side to this side. Make sure they're even, because once you get this glued, it'll rip apart because it's just paper. Okay? So, I don't know about you, but I don't see a difference. It even has the indentation like this does. Exactly. Okay, there you go. Or do I want this side? Doesn't matter, they're both the same. just don't want this. I'm looking at this. I want it. Okay. You need to look at my candles that I did with these for Halloween last year. Oh my gosh, you guys, they turned out so cool. What I did, and again, just go on to my, I have 265 videos, but this was just last year, so they'll be very easy for you to find. But I made, what I did is I took glue, and I put it and dripped it all over the paper towel rolls, and I made them all different heights. And then I took black paint and then got the tea lights and put them in. Really cool. So go and check that out. Okay, so here's my tops. Doesn't matter if you put them with the cereal picture side or this. I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to go around the rim. But you got to go kind of fast because this dries really fast. What I was thinking is if I needed to spackle some of this so it's all flush, but I don't know that I'm even going to do that, to be really honest with you. What I'm really going for primarily is just to make sure that I have this covered. And then, just like this, I'm sure would be if you took off the burlap, but it's glued so I won't. This had a little hole in it in the middle for this to be, the stem to be put in, right? Well, you have the exact same thing right here. And what I think I'm going to do, I was thinking about that. Got a couple cool faux desserts that I'm going to be doing with that air dry clay. And that stuff is cheap. It's just made by Crayola. Actually, it's a kids in the kids section. Air dry clay, but boy, does it work good. Kind of finagle this in. Okay, so I'm going to put the last one on, and when I get the paint together, I'll come back. Okay, so I got my paint out, and I'm painting. The only thing that I don't like, and that would make me want to put either spackle or modeling paste, is around here where they put the actual holder, the tube together. See that? But if you can get a piece, or be aware of when you're gluing it, get the side that doesn't have it so much and have that be your front. So I still might do that. I don't know yet. Depends on how much time I want to take on working on this. But right now, look how close the colors are. This is a little bit more orange, but I don't care about that. This is actual, the paint color is pumpkin. And you know what I decided I'm going to use for the stem? I'm not going to use the air dry clay. I'm going to get a piece of a bag from Trader Joe's, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. But I'm going to use that because those make cool stems. Oop. And I'm kind of just dry brushing this, because I don't want it to be too wet, if you will, because you don't want it to start sagging. Alright, so I'm going to continue and then I'll be back. I got a Trader Joe's bag and I cut it up, well, not cut it out. You know what I mean? Just cut it to where it's open. But I'm going to make the stem out of a paper bag because it's the same kind of medium. So I'm just going to decide. I will probably paint it before I put it on to the pumpkin. And then I found this little squiggly, but I have wire that you can also curl on a pencil. So I'm going to add a little more embellishment than this one has that I got from Hobby Lobby. So for this one, I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. And then look what I found. This was the plates that I got for fall, the you know, sunflower. Well, these were in between the plates, so I just kept them that way so they would have a little padding. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a cylinder. Are you catching my drift? And I'm going to make a pumpkin out of this. So I'll have 3 different textures. Okay, so right now what I'm concerned with is getting the stem, and I think the color that I'm going to use is this sage green. It's called Iguana, and it's from and the reason that I crumble it up, the more you work with a paper bag as thick as like a Trader Joe's bag, it kind of softens it up. It softens the pulp of the paper, if you will. So I'm going to just curl it up. And then twist it. And then I'll glue it. Just about like that after I paint it. But I just want to glue it to where it doesn't come apart. Taking out the excess glue with my bamboo skewer. Okay, because I want to leave enough room because I'm going to put these leaves that came off of some flowers that I had, and I'm also going to use one of these for a template, just the shape of it. So I'm going to take this. If you ever like something and you only have like one or very few and you know that you want to use it more than just the one time and you won't have access to getting something in particular, always make a template out of it. And you may not have the same fabric or whatever it is that the original is made out of, but you don't necessarily have to have that. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to do the shape. And then with this, I can cut it out of material or paper or whatever. So I'm going to do all 3 sizes. And what you could do is you could make a silicone mold. I'm going to do a video on that too, how to make a silicone mold. And then you could get the texture and then put like a caulking in, and it would be rubbery, but nevertheless you'd have something similar to what this material is. Well, actually, You know the stuff that your lemons, and if you buy them in bulk, sometimes that kind of, oh, it's that stretchy material, but it looks kind of like screeny. You know what I'm talking about, where you can see the stuff through it. You could cut leaves out of that too. So anyway, all right, so I'm going to keep that, and that'll be my pattern for when I need it again. I'll have a leaf pattern. So right now, you know what? Actually, I think what I'm going to do, instead of putting this leaf on here, because I am going to be doing some fabric ones. I did some fabric ones last year, but I'm also going to do it again this year for you guys. I just thought of that. I'm thinking I want to make the leaves out of the paper bag. I'll paint it, but I think I want the texture of it all to be the same. Also at the Dollar Tree, and I think I hauled that and showed you, they have a roll of brown butcher, it's like butcher paper, but it's brown. Well, I bought a roll of that because I will make patterns out of it. Like if I don't have a paper bag, I have that where I can make patterns, and then you can keep the patterns, and they stay pretty durable. I'm going to keep that to make another leaf. Yeah, they stay very durable, so you can keep your pattern. Trying to find the best. All right. Okay, so now here, this was my pattern, right? From what I traced with that leaf. So now I'm going to cut another, which will go on here. And to glue them on, I will use a little bit of wire. I'll show you. See, these little pieces you can make leaves out of. And this doesn't have to be just for a craft. I mean, think about scrapbooking. Just, you could downsize the leaf and not have it so big. But if you wanted to make leaves for, you know, say you have an autumn layout that you want to do or something, or, well, these really don't lend themselves too much, other than on a pumpkin, I guess, to autumn, but you get my point. All right, put this aside. Here's my stem, my leaves. Now, the stem, I think I'm going to go, well, I'll kind of do the stem with some of the green and maybe a little bit of tan or something. I like these little palettes. You don't have to keep your paint open so it doesn't dry out, especially in this weather. This wire. I'll glue it onto the back. do 2 first and see how I like that. So let's put the wire on. It's always good to have wire on hand, different gauges. Let me show you. Okay. And with floral tape, you could wrap the wire. I'm trying to see where my floral tape. Here's another one. And to make it stay better, you could even put a piece of brown paper to sandwich it in to make sure it doesn't pop off. And then you can just paint that. That's no big deal. I think I'll do that to this one too. So there's your leaves. Put my patterns over here. It's the stem. I'm going to paint these, and then while those are drying, I will cut these out and glue them together, because I want to get this all done at the same time so I don't got to get my paints out again, right? Again, I'm not using any kind of water, just the paint, a dry brush more or less, because I don't want the paper bag getting too wet. Now you could shade these, you know, but I'm not going to bother with that, I don't think. Okay. And this one, I think I'll use like the burnt umber on the stem. And do you see the way that this is curling because it got wet? I'm going to leave it because I like the way it'll look dimensional. So I'm not going to try to straighten it out. I'll just let it bend or turn or do whatever it wants to do. I'll let it do its thing. And I'll just leave it that way when I glue it onto the pumpkin. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry. And it'll dry the way it wants. Well, it's straightening out on its own, for corn's sake. Burned a little bit, they look more realistic. Do it while it's still a little bit wet and pliable. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I cut, let's see, and these are just about perfect. Okay, so here's two the same size, and all I'm going to do is roll this very, very loose, because I don't want a small one, okay? I don't want a small, which you could, you just keep moving it in, and you get tiny. I want a larger, as large as I can get it. So I'm going to glue it right at the very edge. This is going to look cool, I think. just want to clean up this. And what's nice about this, you have a line that you can have as your guide because of the corrugation on it. So that's cool. Just want this to adhere good. And this is thick enough that I'm not burning my fingers, thank goodness. I knew this would come in handy for something. You know, I always keep things like this thinking, okay, I know I could use that in some way. And sometimes I have an idea right away, and other times, like today, it was like, oh, that would be perfect for pumpkin, a different texture. So now I'm going to have 3, and this one's a little bit taller, so I'll have this, this, and this. So I'll have a family of 3 to add to my decor for fall and Halloween. So what do you think? Cool. All right, this one I'm going to do the same thing. Got to make sure they're the same height and the same in circumference so they all look right. So what I'm going to do before I glue this one, I want to make sure to have 2 more the exact same. And I think I have it right here. What do you think? I think so. So a lot of times you'll get this in packaging, you know what I mean? When you buy something, yeah, good. Okay, so they're all glued together. And what I'm going to do, just for some added security, I'm going to glue them. When I glue the 2 together, I'm going to do seam to seam, so that'll give it just a little bit more, like I said, where they stay adhered good. I'm going to hold these together for a minute. And this can be a cool texture. And I like the way they're all different heights. Not too much in difference, but just enough. This one's together pretty good. I'm going to have to glue some more of that to the other one, but let's just worry about this one first. We'll just go with this again. Okay. I make the tops for it, and I'll just use, well, no, you know what? I will use the corrugated because I have enough left. Go get this painted and get the tops cut out to glue on here, and I'll be back. Okay, I cut the circles and I'm getting ready to paint them, and then I'll glue them on when they're dry to the tops of these. And I also cut out leaves from the corrugated so it'll match. So I'm going to start painting these. Just wash my hands after. I don't care. I just want to get it done. Then I'll find my burnt umber, wash my hands, and then we'll antique them. I'm going to keep these where they're not squishing. Okay. Okay, so what I did is I got my antiquing medium, and this is folk art, and this is espresso, and I just hit the corrugated cardboard that I just made into a cylinder, which is going to be the stem for that one. And then with the leaves that I cut out, all I did is I just took a little bit of the antiquing on a dry brush, and I'm just hitting it here and there. Not, hold on, I gotta get this off too much. I don't have a rag. I got this paintbrush in my mouth. That'd be a sight to see. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I like it even drier, so barely. Like that. Barely hitting them. This one I hardly did any. This one's even less. Alright, so that's that. And then over here, these still going to put a wire on those others. What's kind of cool is the antiquing is picking up the back of this that I just glued to keep the wire on, and that looks kind of cool. And then this stem, I'll just hit it a little bit because I painted that one green, remember? So I painted this one green and then just put a little antique medium, and for the other it is a complete antiquing and no green. Okay, so now on this one, oh, you know what, I need paper towel because I do need to be able to rub this off. And I'm just going to put it random, and the same with this. So I'll be back once I get this done. Okay, I'm just about to put the stems in, and I'm going to make this little wire squiggly that pumpkins have. And I just put some wire over, you know, wrapped it around a pencil, and then I'll just open it up to where I want it. Okay, and that'll go in there. So, let's get the stem and get these pumpkins done. Alright. I don't even have to glue it. Put the wire on these. Alright, so that's where that stem's going to go. This stem, I don't want the fat part. I'm going to glue this. Just hold it there for a minute. Because this had a bigger hole in the middle, so I have to glue it, where the other one is tight enough I don't have to. Okay, so there's my stem on that one. Here's the stem on this one. This one's just going to be straight. I might bring him down a little bit, or he can just go straight, I don't care. Now I'm going to take some floral tape, and I'm going to start wrapping. It'll make the wire a little bit thicker, easier to glue on to the sides. If you've ever worked with floral tape, you know that it adheres to itself once you get it started, which is nice. And I'll just keep twisting until this piece is gone. I'm not going to cut it off. No need to. Now look how much thicker it is now compared to when you just have it on the wire. Okay, so this one I think I'm going to bring down just to about there. And the next one I wrap, I'll do it off camera, I'm going to have it up a little bit. And not all pumpkins have leaves, but I'm going to make a couple of these on purpose. And then I'm going to put the squiggly in there. So I'll be right back as soon as I wrap this. Okay, so here's our first one that I did with the paper towel rolls. And as you can see, I antiqued, and I like the antiquing. And then I just put a couple leaves and a couple of the curlicues with the stem. So let's see. Again, I'll take pictures after so you can see it better. I think it's cute. Now let's get done embellishing this one. I'll go ahead and put the floral tape, and I think I'll leave this gold, and I'll be back. Okay, and here is the corrugated. Put that up there. Did that turn out cute or what, you guys? Here is your corrugated pumpkin. Here is the pumpkin that was bought at Hobby Lobby. And here is your paper towel rolls. How do you like my little pumpkin patch? I will take pictures at the end, so stay tuned for those so you can see them. Guys, I hope you try this. This is a very inexpensive way to bring pumpkins into your decor along with what you buy. So until the next DIY coming up, remember, the world's a better place because you're in it. Don't ever, ever forget that. Talk to you soon, guys. Bye.